Hey folks, and welcome to something a little different. I think I'm going to call this one Musical Conman Observes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to watch someone else playing a run of Isaac. So, a friend of mine, a friend familiar to you all, perhaps, very familiar to one of you even, has sent me this video. So, looks like she's picked Judas and gone on. She is playing on a hard mode, respect for that. So this is my first time watching this footage. The quality's a little lower than I hope mine often is as far as video recording, but I can understand what's going on perfectly well. Time for my paranoid is this recording check, so good job clearing out that first room. Friend of mine, chasing around, dealing with these stone giants. I think this is a good room to use Book of Belial on. Those enemies have a lot of health, and damage boost is just really nice here. Plus one, ooh, tight dodge. One issue I often have with Book of Belial or active items in general is just trying to save them too much. But with a 3-room charge, okay, and on to the next run. I thought that my friend had dodged that, but apparently, she didn't even die. She just held the reset button to start a new run, so that's a bold new tactic. But now, she started a new run with same character, Judas, and has gotten a really interesting starting item, Sister Maggie. Who dog it? We all love Sister Maggie, don't we just? Okay. Navigating the spike maze. Gotta get these. See that score ticking down to 585 points, but we made it up to the 600s again by clearing another room. Thank goodness. Yep, you almost always want to use Book of Belial on big rooms because it only takes 3 charges to use, and you get 2 back just for beating the room, so a big room is almost always worth using it on. And Dim Bulb is going to be nice. Dim Bulb is going to give a stat boost when the active item has 0 charges, which is to say, in the room where you use Book of Belial, you're using it because you want to get stronger. And Dim Bulb is going to make it so that after you use it, you're stronger for that room. So basically, it's just kind of like a slight buff to your active item, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I've thought about that combination before. Fool card is nice. Could use it to go get that sacrifice room off to the right, but I'm not driving. And that would put her down to half a heart, which is kind of a scary place to be. There isn't any red health sitting on the floor elsewhere, so it would be a bit of a risk. And I guess she's going onwards to the boss. Ooh, Ragman. But look at all those stat boosts. That Tears upgrade is really nice. So Ragman is just gonna be obliterated here unless, ooh, yeah, so you don't want to stand too close to Ragman with those random homing bullets coming up. Ooh, go to the sacrifice room. Do go to the, sorry, not sacrifice room, curse room. Yeah, you can shoot some boop if you want. I respect that. Let's see. Whew. I bet my protege there was just as scared as I was by that. Alright, here we go. Oh, that is beautiful. And zip zap zoop. Perfect. Just how I would have played it. God, those spikes are scary. They can't hurt you. They don't even have a hitbox as they're going down. But yeah. A little more poop for good luck, I guess. And we are going to move on down to the next floor. Probably. Are we? I can't control that. Yes, we are. Just got to move away from the door to open up the portal. In my previous video, I was drinking a secret beverage, which obviously I won't tell you what it was, because if you haven't watched that video, you don't get to know. It's such a terrible mystery, but I think I'll have the last sip of it, because I recorded that about 5 minutes ago. I wanted to record and watch this one and react to it. Nicely done with the TNT, of course, but I also wanted to warm up a little bit, play a little Isaac myself first, get my Isaac brain turned on, Yeah, good. Getting just outside of their range and just standing there and comfortably demolishing them. Good way to deal with those enemies. Ooh, and we got a tinted rock here, which I'm sure my loyal pal here has noticed. I might use a Book of Belial just because there's 2 big enemies and 1 really big enemy with that champion variant, but hey, as long as the job gets done. Eventually. There we go. That is a very tricky spot for that spider to hide in. Ooh, health economy going strong. I mean, Judas already has good damage, and that dim bulb is going to be a nice buff for boss rooms. So with a lot of health and naturally good starting damage, this Judas run is off to a strong start. I would be surprised if this were not, let's see, 33 minutes? I would be surprised if this were not the run that made it those 33 minutes, because it was a good start, and I believe, clearly, my person I'm spectating here is playing quite well. Has really not been taking that much avoidable damage. I cursed them through my time magic. Oof, okay, yeah, that's a rough one. But it happens, and the health game remains strong. And frankly, I definitely have a habit of playing myself much sloppier when I have a lot of health. Yeah, I agree, save the bomb there, you've got more keys than bombs. Mom's Wig is a really nice pickup, because it's going to go a bunch of spiders, which, with good damage, is going to give good damage. I believe Mom's Wig is just randomly while you're firing in a room with enemies in it, I think. It won't. I don't think it'll spawn enemies otherwise, but while you have the fire button held down, in a room with enemies, I think Mom's Wig will just sometimes randomly spawn a spider. I was gonna say I need to look up how that item works, but I don't. I just need to know that it gives you spiders sometimes while you fight. Yep, 100% double chance, lots of health, lots of damage. Ooh, tinted rock there, just a matter of getting another bomb. And I bet our wonderful pal here is glad that she didn't use that bomb to get an extra key and used it to open that last tinted rock instead. Hopefully get another bomb, and ought to be another bomb there. No, wait, sorry, I'm safety pin. I was thinking of, yikes, the one that gives bombs. I can't remember my Isaac items today. But yeah, safety pin is range, shot speed up, and a black heart. Going out, clearing through here, probably looking to see what's in that shop, I would imagine. Not sure what she's looking for with 11 cents, but maybe she's just gonna donate. Huh, that's nice. Ooh, if you wanted a bunch of red hearts, you could buy that converter and turn those 6 soul hearts into 3 red heart containers. I don't know if I would do that, but it's definitely a strong option. That said, level 2 store upgrade is probably a much stronger option in the long term. Alright, off we go, back towards that boss room, head down the trapdoor to the next floor. I probably would have checked out the arcade, just because, got a red heart container. If one had used converter, arcade could be a good place to get red hearts and then do a bunch of stuff, but hey, here's money. Not saying that necessarily would have been the right call versus just donating, because 6 soul hearts for 3 red heart containers is not even necessarily a good trade. It depends where you're at and what you want. But just talking about hypothetical ways it could be done, because I think that's interesting. Alright, getting that book popped off, getting that damage and fire rate and all them other stats buffed, and getting these enemies dealt with handily. It's like handily, but a little stankier. Oh man, I would definitely wish I had Book of Belial in this room though. These things are really spooky if you can't burst them down, because they just come at you. But down to the last 2, and I think it's pretty solvable from here. Into the treasure room. And all the bombs one could ever need. And we'll see what our player, I guess. Just trying to think of a fun other thing, but we'll see what our player is choosing to do with these bombs. You can spend bombs to get a card and more bombs here. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. God, those invisible enemies are spoopy. But luckily this one runs away from you, so you're not likely to run into it by surprise. Bombs can definitely be a way to look for secret rooms. I might use Book of Belial on this room. Those mushrooms have a lot of health. But unfortunately, our player can't hear me right now. And alas, my advice falls upon deaf, digital, non-existent ears. So really my advice hardly falls at all. Except that it falls into obscurity. Just kidding. It's going on my YouTube channel. The most viewed channel in the history of streaming video entertainment made by musical Conman. I would definitely use a bomb to blow up the shopkeeper here to increase my devil chance. 36.88 is nice, but you haven't blown up a shopkeeper on this floor, so it can go higher. And with 99 bombs, you always want to see a devil deal, right? Okay. Whoops. We got a jumper there. But hey, I think that's why our player suggested I spectate, partly to watch and have time to just relax and point out little things that, you know, you might see someone do when you watch their videos, but you don't necessarily think about it applying to your own play. So, ooh, I also look forward to hearing from this particular friend of mine. Lila Nas, I guess, is the internet name she's going with. I don't know. Friend of mine. I mean, I could ask, but what? Ask, like, what if I just made the video? That's what I'm saying. Like, asking questions of your friends is cool and all, but have you tried making YouTube videos? Tinted rock, small rock? Man, a lot of tinted rocks this run. Oh, not heading into the boss. Let's see where she's heading. She's been to the shop. She's been to the treasure room. Wait a second, was she listening? Could she hear me? She could hear me! Oh my goodness, hi! Oh, it's... wow. This is remarkable. Yeah, donating makes sense there. How could I ever have had so little faith in you? Pleasant surprise. So 39.38%. Not a massive increase, but gosh darn it, it's better than 36.88%. And with 10 damage, 7 fire rate, really ought to be curtains for Bighorn in pretty short order if Bighorn will stay in one place long enough to be fired upon. I wonder if our player beats this without taking damage. I'm going to say probably. They've demonstrated an ability to dodge all of the attacks so far, so clearly it's not like they're going to be caught by surprise. They're keeping away from the holes, they're dodging the bombs. Oh wow, this is a tricky spot. She's got it, she's got it. Those bombs can bounce kind of unpredictably if one of them explodes sooner than the other and pushes it towards you. Luckily, we didn't get a chance to see that in action right now. Oh, got a little trapped by the hands there, but masterful dodging. And ooh, a syringe. Alright, this is spicy. Oh, I take all of this. Especially with a Hierophant card. Guppy, 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 Guppy. No, Guppy! Oh my goodness, no Guppy? Yes! Oh my god. Guppy! Oh, no Guppy. And no Little Brimstone. Little Brimstone is... I mean, you've got enough damage that you don't necessarily need a Little Brimstone, but you only have enough damage when you're on the rooms where you use Book of Belial. Little Brimstone helps you clear... So you're good against bosses, but Little Brimstone is really good against clearing out rooms of regular enemies. So, I personally I take Devil Deals a little more aggressively than that, because with Hierophant, this is a lot of health, and Our player here has taken damage, what, like 3 times this entire run? I'm not worried that going down to, like, 5.5 or even 2.5 soul hearts, or even 1.5 would be a huge threat. You know, I say things like that. And then the player tries to prove me wrong. But it's fun. It makes it feel a little more interactive. Yeah, I like that. That's a good use of a combat bomb. Pyromaniac, 99 bombs. And I like the quick reaction speed there. So many rooms in Isaac aren't even just about your dodging skills. They're just about how quickly you can make a plan and start to enact it. Because it's not usually about just about the mechanics of, oh, the bullet's coming, can I move out of the way? A lot of times it's about, do I know what this enemy does? Do I know how to predict what it's going to do and move so that I don't have to dodge bullets? Like, this room is a great example. Those things, they follow you along the walls, so it's very easy to get overwhelmed. Oh my, that's a close start. But this thing does eat bombs, so with Pyromaniac, yep, our player didn't know that, but listened to me, clearly. Yeah, very easy. Wow. I'm so proud of you. You have learned so much about how this game works, and you are playing really well. I mean, not that... I used to have I've had friends who were very... Oh my goodness, another guppy item. Ooh, if you buy the Brother Bobby, it will give you a transformation, conjoined transformation. That one will not. Fun fact. One of those counts for the transformation and the other does not. But you have Goat Head, so you can use Hierophant to get health, go back and take either Goat Head or Guppy's Head. But, I mean, Guppy's whatever it was, not Guppy's Head. Guppy's Head is easier to immediately like. But, you know what? You can do what you like. And I think you would like getting some treasure room action, so that seems like a reasonable thing to go down. So, blasting through the void with a big gold follower train. To the womb we go, bringing lots of pain as we make our way through basement caverns and tombs. We hope that we shall find success in blasting out Mom's womb. Oh, Isaac Bells. Isaac. Okay, I lost it. But the name of the episode is Isaac Bells. I enjoyed that. Also, our player is doing pretty well here. Second hand is useless, whereas dim light bulb was very useful. This is not a choice I can support. So second hand is going to double the effects of any sort of stat effects you put on enemies. So if you slow enemies down or make them afraid or charm them or poison them, any of that, second hand is going to make it last longer. You may note that, yeah, good, pick it up, use it once to get the soul heart. Okay, it looks like our player's going to keep it here. It would be a tough call for me between Book of Belial and Crystal Ball. Crystal Ball gives a lot of utility, but Book of Belial is great damage. Anyway, Dim Bulb, really nice synergy with Book of Belial, because the times where you're using it are the times where you have 0 charge, or the times where you want extra power. Yeah, I respect the donation game. That donation machine is a little small. You gotta work that up there. Your store doesn't have any items in it. But I'm sure you'll get there. And if you are, of course, to the non-Lyle and Oz viewers of this channel, you may already be there. Or you may not even own Isaac. I don't know how many viewers I'm likely to have who don't own Isaac. Well, this is a bad corner to be in. I'm going to take a look at that again. So let's look at how Laonaz has handled this room. So yeah, trying to take out the voids. Unfortunately, the bomb missed, but that's kind of what happens. A clumsy dodge. But the thing here is moving about the room in this sort of random pattern is going to kind of get you in trouble. Not random, but kind of a circle. So what you want to do... Whoops, that's way too far back. What am I doing? Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. What did I do? Okay, here we go. So, this room has a ton of enemies in it, right? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't start with a ton of enemies, but it sure gets a ton of enemies. And the thing about a ton of enemies is... the problem isn't how many there are, the problem is how many places they are. So right now you can see the enemies are spread all around the room, and all different places, and it's really hard to dodge, and then Lyle gets trapped in a corner there, and stays there. So if you get hit, you're invincible after you get hit. So when you get hit, you want to use that chance to immediately just sprint to a better place, because you can't get hit for a little while afterwards. So as soon as you get hit, if you're in a bad spot, that is the time to just keep running. So one crucial mistake Lyle made there was getting hit and staying in one place to get hit a second time. And I think even a third, instead of just getting out of there. So the other thing about the movement around the room is moving in a circle is not bad, and like she did a good job of weaving between the enemies for a while, but that's why I say it's not just about reaction speed, it's about planning. The planning left the enemies all over the room, whereas since a lot of those enemies follow you at different speeds, you can kind of go to one corner, wait a moment for them to kind of clump together. No guppy. Okay, it's fine. She's seen 2 guppy items and didn't take either of them, but it's not like the most powerful transformation in the game is any good or anything. Don't worry about me. Anyway, so you want to try and clump the enemies together because that makes them a lot easier to dodge. That said, that room was really difficult, and I do want to, again, praise the decision to immediately try and toss a bomb at the void monsters. I think it bounced off some of the other enemies, but that was quick thinking, and if it had worked out, the room would have been way easier. And that's the thing, you know, you have a bunch of health, but it can all go away in one room if you get caught in a bad spot. Because that's another thing that's helpful for succeeding in Isaac is obviously you want to get hit less often. And remember that those enemies are going to teleport right to where you're just standing, so you always got to keep moving when they jump. I would not, yeah. 2 keys for 1 regular chest when you only have 4. Nah. Spend any amount of bombs for it, because you have 91 of those. Alright, the health is getting a little low here, but the timestamp suggests that our player here is going to pull out a clutch victory. Have not been to the treasure room. It's up to the northeast. You can see it there because you have the compass, but you haven't actually been to it, so hope you'll get there at some point. One thing I definitely recommend doing as well, by the way. Oops, a little bit of a... got a little boned there. Wait a moment. I found 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm a silly YouTuber because I did not notice. Well, no, it's 2217. I did not notice Lyle and Oz going back and returning the crystal ball to pick Book of Belial back up. I think that is totally a right call, actually. If you're going to keep exploring the floor, you take crystal ball with you to get a couple extra uses out of it, if you're confident you won't need Book of Belial, and then pick up Book of Belial to go on. So, you know what? They're both good items, and even if you want Book of Belial, that you should take Crystal Ball and get some temporary use out of it. That was good stuff. That said, second hand as a trinket is a no good. Go to your treasure room. Oh, you gotta watch out for that, buddy. Personally, I probably blow that up. Yeah, great minds think alike. Just because I do not trust myself to remember that as I'm coming back through. And I don't want to put my reaction speed to the test. I guess that's the theme for today's episode is reaction speed is great, but good planning means you don't need reaction speed nearly as much. You can go between the spikes, it's okay. Alright. Hopefully, our player here, who we are making an example of for didactic purposes for all our YouTube audience, hopefully our player does not feel too personally attacked by the gentle ribbing I hope to impart. See, I personally wouldn't spend a key on going to the shop here because you don't have enough money to buy anything. Well, fuck me, I guess. I mean, that can happen, that's true. There can be a soul heart, and blowing up the shopkeeper can give enough money to get the soul heart, and that was the right thing to do. I might have saved a key, but yeah, fuck me, I guess. That worked out pretty well. Now, I don't know if... There's pretty good odds of a soul heart in the shop. I guess lower odds at this shop level with less items in it. And there are okay odds that blowing up the shopkeeper will give you some money. Not great odds. More likely that it won't. But it can totally happen. Good, keeping the bombs away. This is a very annoying room to fight this boss in. Tiny room boss fights are just... Oh, yeesh. See, that's a planning thing. You gotta stay up against one wall to lead it down towards the bottom, so that then you can dodge around it to the top. The mark does give HP, so you can take that. Especially because you're gonna get a red heart at the start of the next floor. But not everybody has memorized every item and its effects, so our player might or might not know that that gives one black heart. I think this floor is pretty much done. I mean, of course there is exploring for more benefit. And it's not like our player is currently on pace to go for Boss Rush and Hush. I mean, Boss Rush was already passed. Hush could be possible with a real effort. Yep. Okay, cleared an extra room. Just checked out how it was going and moving on. I respect that. I probably go to the devil room here. I probably take the extra damage upgrade, because going down to one soul heart is scary, but one soul heart plus one red heart, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I use Book of Belial on the big room. That ball of tar, you know, it's not necessarily a flashy item, you know, I mean, yes, it has a big visual effect, but you don't go, oh my god, I got ball of tar. But that said, the utility is pretty nice. Especially in a run like this that's kind of touch and go, since, you know, the damage is okay, but not incredible. You know, you want to figure out what you can do to make that happen. Oh yeah, so I was going to talk about that shop with bombing for the 2 cents, which definitely worked out, and in that sense, I think it was clearly a good choice to make in this situation. Whether I would make that choice, I don't want to think about, because I have 4 keys, right? And keys are something that, like, you either have enough keys to open everything. If you have enough keys to open everything that you want, that you see, then you basically have infinite keys. There's no point in having more keys. So, like, it's not necessarily useful to have 87 keys. Like, if you have 20 keys, you're probably set for the whole run. Like, if you get Guppy's Tail or something, you can go more. So, 4 keys on the depths there is enough. Like, you're going to be able to open all the treasure rooms you encounter, some of the shops. So in that sense, you might not need to save it. It might be good to keep some for golden chests, but not necessarily a priority. And with 91 bombs, spending a bomb on the shopkeeper once you've used the key is definitely it. I re-roll that for sure. It's milk, not soy milk, but it's not exciting. You can take that and use it if you want an eternal heart. But looks like they want to check the shop first. Shop contains nothing of interest. Yeah. Oh, it looks like our player is cleverly checking the shop to buy a battery charge to get an extra heart container out of that. And I wonder if our player is going to keep this around and charge it up a few more rooms to get an extra eternal heart, or just go back to tried and true Book of Belial. Looks like she's going to go for the extra health, which, hey, I respect that. Yeah, those are tricky because they predict your movement. So one way to get through those is run towards it, then when they start to close, just turn back, wait, let them close, and then run through as they're coming back open. Because they can't shut as they're... While they're opening, they can't change and start shutting. They have to finish opening before they can start shutting again. So right after they close is the safest time to go through. And luckily there's enough health that that's unlikely to prove a super influential mistake here. Overall, the play has been quite good. I really like most of the macro decisions in terms of what items to take, what items to keep. I personally would say I personally would take devil items a lot more aggressively. Because to me, having... And, you know, one might say that, you know, this player has gone down to pretty low health at points in this run, and if they had less health... Okay, running onto the blood trail is just a little silly there. But you hate to see it. I definitely do it. But whenever I do it, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? So I say it from a place of love. I take devil deal items more aggressively because, yes, you're lower on health, but the thing is, the longer you spend in difficult rooms, the more likely you are to get hit. So, if you just take all the damage items, you know, if you can kill everything instantly as soon as you walk into the room, then you don't need health. Just don't run into spikes and you're fine. Whereas if you have, like, 2 damage and it takes 6 years to kill an enemy, ooh. I wonder if they're going to use cube of meat on the leg here. I like the use of bombs. Yeah, that's a good way to blast through this. Anyway, obviously, you want to save enough HP to live. And having more damage is going to keep you from losing HP, because if you have a ton of health, if you have a ton of damage and no health, you're fine. You can just destroy everything. But if you have a ton of health but no damage, that health better come back real quick, because otherwise, if you just have 12 hearts but no way to, like, regain it, eventually you'll be worn down just from spending 6 minutes in a boss fight. By the way, if you ever have the chance to spend 6 minutes in a boss fight in this game, don't. It sucks. Latchkey is good. It'll give you soul hearts. Ooh, I just realized our player here is keeping the prayer card since you can't go back after the mom fight. Which, you know, is just... I can understand why someone might want red health. I personally am more of a get that Book of Belial, get that damage, woo, kind of person, but because I'm personally trying to get more soul hearts and get rid of red hearts past this floor. But since our player has been playing a little more defensively, taking a little less damage in favor of keeping a little more health, I can understand doing the same thing here. That's sort of the playstyle. Oops. Yikes. Oh wait, actually, losing devil chance is not a concern, because goat head. So, 100% devil chance every floor. So actually, the only concern is staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Anyway. Staying alive. Uh-oh. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, this is a spooky moment. Oh, I have not kept track of how far into the video we are. I hope our player makes it past this point. Oof. No spoilers. Whew. Okay. Edge of my seat there. Yeah, so one thing I do see happening in this run that is really common in Isaac players of a lot of skill levels is death. Rip. Good run though. That was a tricky one. So one thing I see is I notice is most rooms not taking damage, but when you take damage, you can see here, viewer, that when the player here takes damage, she tends to take damage several times in the same room. And I think that's a really important skill to work on getting better at Isaac is just recovery. So when you make a mistake, just like you would if you were, say, a musician performing a piece. Not that a musical con man would know anything about musical performance. Just being like, okay, I made a mistake, and ouch, I got hit, and I need to recover. I need to, like, not get too frazzled by it, or out, because otherwise, if you let one mistake surprise you, so then you're surprised and you make 2 more mistakes, then all of a sudden, instead of losing half a heart, you're losing 2.5 hearts for a single mistake, and then your health goes pretty quick. So then of course you're at low health, so you have to turn down devil items to stay alive, and then since you have less damage because you turn down devil items, you take more damage later on because you're spending longer in rooms. So I guess really just a super important thing in Isaac is just being like, okay, I got hit, and I still got to keep dodging this enemy that hit me. What am I doing now? But overall, really, really good play. And I think if I had any advice, it would just be to play better. So there you go. Now, I'd say I probably take devil items more aggressively, because if you don't have enough health to survive with more damage, you don't have enough health to survive without damage, usually. Going down to half a heart is risky, but I'll go down to like 2 hearts any day. No question. If it gives me more damage from devil items. Unless I'm like literally about to fight Hush. Anyway, if I talk too long... Whoops. I made that non-full screen, and now my tabs might be visible in the recording. I don't even know how this recording thing works when it's capturing Firefox. But now you all might know that I was working on my role-playing campaign and some tax filing stuff. Shock and horror. I mean, I could edit it out, but who does that? Anyway, after this super interactive and exciting video clip of just a random room, I think that's where we're going to conclude today. So thank you so much for watching. To Lilo Noms, thank you so much for playing. I had a really nice time doing this commentary, and I hope it was fun. Feel free to send me more. Bye!